Scott, you declared very, very early that it wasn't just about making the finals, it was about actually competing and making them count. How much is that message still driving the group?
Well, you probably have to ask Tex that, but I think a lot. You know, I think the guys got great confidence, particularly out of the West Coast game, that we actually did earn the right to get there, and you know we actually want to do something through this finals period.
Well, we've spoken about all year about earning the right to play in finals, and if you ask every bloke in the playing group, what do you play footy for? That's to play in finals, and we've got the opportunity, and we're confident that the way we've been playing, we've probably got a little bit of a learning curve and a bit of a tap on the shoulder on the weekend so you don't flirt with your form. But before that, we've been playing great footy, and we're really confident going into Saturday night.
How are you dealing with what happened on Saturday?
We dealt with it, and I think you've got to move forward now and embrace the atmosphere and exciting times this week that finals footy brings.
You're talking about all the great lessons. Which are the ones that you've drawn from that game?
Don't flirt with your form, and you got to play at a level that competitive week in, week out, and we did some things on the weekend, especially with some of our KPIs that weren't up to scratch. When you don't get your hands on the footy first and you don't get up in the face of the opposition, then you're probably non-existent, and you don't get to play the way you want to play.
Was it talked about at three-quarter time, particularly what was going on in Brisbane and how you were very much in the mix to get a home final?
Wasn't even spoken about, mate.
Should it have been?
I don't think so. Then you lose focus of what's at hand.
So is it easy to say the timing of it is a good reminder for you that you got the bad one out of the way, or is it not that easy to flick the switch back on?
I don't think you can flick the switch, but you'd like it to happen in a minor round game than a finals game.
Scott, a lot of people make fuss about the fact that the Bulldogs aren't playing at Etihad. Obviously, you don't care where you play, but do you think it's an advantage playing in a bigger ground, the MCG, given the way Bulldogs featured last time at Etihad?
I wouldn't be drawing on too much the last time. There's a lot of changes we've had since then, a lot of things have happened, so I think we've improved as a footy club, and as you said, we're not too worried about where it's played. I don't think it hinders or promotes either footy club, to be quite honest.
So how do you know your finals experience, maturity, and particularly when you look at the young guys at the weekend and they look as if it had reached a point with them? Are you looking at that at the moment as to what you've got on the list and those younger players and if they're ready for a final?
Not really, no. I mean, I've had to think about it over the weekend, but at some stage you've got to go through that as a player. So they've played 2 top 4 teams the last month in Richmond and West Coast, and those guys you're alluding to all played their role and played well. So it'll be as normal week as we can do, but yeah, we'll have some quiet conversations with those guys. But our club's built on a team first approach, and they'll play their role like any other player would come in, whether they played no finals or 8 finals. So that's my expectation of the playing group.
I think Brody Smith on the AFL.
Yeah, no, he looks fine.
Are you likely to make changes?
Well, we haven't done match committee, it's only Monday, so we've got a little bit of time, but we'll weigh up and see what the best mix is. As we've always said all year, we'll pick a team to beat the Bulldogs this week.
So what did you learn last time when you got smashed at Etihad against the Doggies by 57 points?
Yeah, well, it was a little bit on the back of some of our KPIs that were reflective of the weekend as well. So, you know, we won clearance last time, but, you know, ground ball and probably our defence was off a little bit that night. So, but as I said, I think we've improved as a footy club since round 4.
How about your matchups, stringing the whole of you on that occasion? Does that sort of throw up a danger sign for this week, or will you change it around a fair bit?
No, not really. I think, as you know, previously we were just speaking to, you know, Fox Footy. Our defence is based on a team defence. We can't rely on Daniel Talia, for example, just to play on Jake Stringer and get the job done. So our philosophy is team defence. If we don't come with the defensive pressure that we have done in the last month, then it's going to be a long night for whoever he plays on.
He's actually played in the finals before, but I think 11 players in the team, current team, haven't played finals. Like Campo said, you get around them a bit this week and just tell them this is what you might expect. You know, it's just another game. You sort of try and do a little bit of that this week.
Yeah, well, I think it's good if players that haven't played finals talk about it. You embrace it. It's reality. We've got a lot of guys around the footy club, whether it be coaches or players that have played in finals, and we encourage them to reach out and talk about it. So I'm just as excited as probably a Charlie Cameron that hasn't played finals. So.
Who's that to you, your first final? Do you remember? Like, who sort of told you about what it's like?
I can't. Oh, I remember bits of it against Sydney out here. It was pretty hot in terms of the game and intensity. So I'll just be passing on what I learned and probably enjoy it.
Tex, do you take a minute to reflect on what the group's been able to achieve, like now the regular season's done, given what's happened and how you've led the side?
I think you can reflect on it as you go, but we've got a lot of unfinished business. You talk to any player here and they're excited about playing finals, and we've earned the right, but now it's time to play finals footy and play some really good Crows footy.
Was there a moment of a sense of achievement, I suppose, when you know you were guaranteed a spot in the finals?
I think you're excited, yeah. It's probably against Collingwood and the Geelong game that you know you can make finals. But yeah, as I said, you don't shy away from it and be excited, and it's here.
So you said it's an exciting time finals, but it's also a really big challenge for Adelaide. 4 weeks and be on the road. What would make it happen for Adelaide?
We play the Crows footy that we want to play and embrace the challenge, embrace the arm wrestle. It's going to be a contested style of game, and I think we're pretty good at that.
Scotty, what about you? Do you give yourself a chance to get excited, or are you just trying to keep it pretty
Oh no, I'm excited. Why wouldn't you? I mean, it's been an unbelievable year, really, on and off the field. So yeah, we're excited as a footy club to get there. As Tex said, we earn the right to get there. So as we all know, it's 0-0. So the season starts again. So that's the message to the playing group. But what we do know is there's 7 other teams that are in really good form, and they deserve to be there as well. So that's the reality of it.
Does what happened in this final define your season?
I wouldn't have thought so, but what it does do is it gives our footy club a bit more resilience, a bit more credit in the industry, and great experience for our playing list going forward.
So how do you feel leading the team into the finals, given obviously your journey this year?
Yeah, no, personally, I'm really proud to be, with the playing group. As we said, after what's happened, to be able to get to the point that we're at. As I said, the coaching group and the staff of the footy club and the members, we're a small piece, but at the end of the day, the players are the ones that have actually executed on game day. The 22 that roll out there each week take a lot of credit for where this club's at the moment. So I'm really proud of them, that they've been able to galvanise themselves, led by Tex and the leadership group, to get to this point.
Tex, how about Scotty? He's come in a very tough time to do this job. How have you been? You've been proud of the way he's gone about it as well? We've seen him grow and mature as well in the role.
He's been great. I suppose when you lose your head coach, everyone else around has to step up, whether it be coaches or players, and Campo's been able to do that. Walsh put in philosophies and a game plan that Campo's had to just come in and continue that on, and he's brought a bit of energy along the way. So I've been really pleased and excited to be able to work with him.
With you coaching, Scott, the CEO spoke glowingly of you this morning, which you hope he does, but does it give you any confidence, heading into a final series, your own confidence?
Well, what gives a coach confidence is your playing group actually buying into what you're presenting and the game plan that we're doing and getting a response when you need to as a coach. That's what gives you confidence, not the public or anyone pumping up your tyres. I'm worried about what the playing group attitude is and the way they execute what we're asking them to do, and they've done everything to the letter so far. So that gives me confidence, yeah.
So Scott, what was your lesson at the weekend? You talk about all the great lessons. What was the one you took from it for yourself?
I think it's just more reinforcement about that you can't go away, and not that we did, but more reinforcement about what works for us as a footy club. And we can't rely on any other team or any other result. We have to worry about what we can control. That's the big.
How do you think you handled that point when you didn't have the ball, like trying to defend turf or defend position? How do you think you handled that?
Probably not as it's been the month before, obviously, to let them score what they scored, but you know, we played probably 20 minutes of footy and we're still around the mark. So that's an upside for us. But once again, as Tech said, the learning lesson is going into the first week of the finals, we have to be on the rivet in every part of the game.
So do you think that was about the way you didn't do things or the way things that Geelong did might have tested your press in the way in which you set up?
I think it's both.
Scott, how do you rate the Doggies?
Yeah, no, but obviously they're a quality team to finish where they've done and I guess where they've come from even 12 months ago. I think what their coaching group and their personnel has done has been outstanding and they deserve to be there. They're playing some exciting footy. They've got a lot of talent there, obviously drafted in, and they're playing as a team. So they're not going to be an easy task whatsoever. But, you know, I'm really confident with our group, with what we've been able to do the last 6 or 7 weeks, that we can challenge them.
Is that team defensive part you need to try to slow them down a bit? Because I guess they're like...
Oh, I think it's any team, Andrew. I mean, you look at all the teams that are in the top 8, they all move the ball pretty swiftly. So if you're not switched on defensively, you're going to get scored against. So that's the reality of it.
Do you feel like in that West Coast game that, not just here but in Melbourne, that the Crows were part of that conversation where people were saying that the premiership could be won outside the top 4 this year and that the Crows were, you know, an outside chance? Do you agree with both those propositions?
I don't get too much into what outside people say. I'm more interested, as I said, worrying about the actions of our group. We get our best feedback from the way we play, not from other people giving their opinions. So, is it a close 8 this year? Yeah, I think it is. But the top 4 finished top 4 for a reason, so they're still the ones to beat, I think.
Do you feel like the ruck's an area that you can exploit Bulldogs in, or something get towed up a bit like Brisbane?
Yeah, well, I think, as I've said before, my philosophy is best midfield wins. So clearance work is going to be critical in the finals game. Clearance is obviously part of contested ball, so that's really important. So if we get that part right, and we can give it to our forward line that's functioning really well, we give ourselves the best opportunity to win.
Taylor, at a time when no one knew what to expect from Adelaide, what's kept you driving towards the finals and what drives you now to do that?
I think we've been able to continue what we spoke about day one when Phil come on, and that's buying into team first and continue elite standards. We've been able to do that throughout the season, and we're going to stick to that throughout the finals.
Is there something that sticks into your mind as to what happened on the weekend, that you could be so good 7 days earlier and go so far away from what made you good on Monday?
Our KPIs weren't at the level that we wanted them to be at.
But what about the attitude? The attitude would determine whether you get to those KPIs.
Well, I don't think any of the players went out there and said, "Oh, we're not going to play footy." I'm not questioning that at all. Our KPIs weren't at the standard that we wanted them to be at, and we've spoken about that, and it's time to move on.
Thanks. What about your own form? You started off pretty slowly with your 50 for the year, stunning form. How have you been able to turn around personally?
I've been working closely with David Teague, and I've had some great players around me. You've seen the improvement of Charlie Cameron. Eddie Betts has been outstanding this year, and you see Josh Jenkins, Tommy Lynch, they've been able to play some really good footy. And I think when you get first use through the midfield and you get it into our forward line, then it's exciting. We've been able to have 22 blokes pretty much play their role for most of the year, which helps me out.
Scott, do you buy into the line that's always trotted out that finals are different, they're played differently, and if so, how do you have to play it?
Oh, they're different. They're different because they're different in intensity. That's the biggest thing. So, and they're cutthroat. So the pressure's high. There's not next week. You know, particularly for us, it's elimination final. There is no next week. So that's great. That's exciting because that puts everyone on edge and puts everyone on notice. And if you want to get credence in this game, you've got to perform well in finals.
Scott, will you stop at all during the week to reflect on your journey to this point? Or?
It'll be at the end of the season, isn't it? Yeah.
Is Darren Lyons particularly happy that the sub-vest isn't going to be in play next year? Obviously been the go-to man for most of the season.
Oh, no doubt. I would think that any of the guys that have been in that situation, not just Jared, would be pleased that they've got rid of that rule, yeah.
Was it a concerted decision that he's going to be the guy in the vest more often than not this season, or is that a week-by-week proposition?
No, as I said, we'll pick the best team and the best balance going into whatever opposition. So it's not a personal vendetta against Jared.
So what works for you on the MCG?
What works for us?
Let's kick goals.
Yeah, kick more. Look, I think the MCG is an opportunity where, you know, I think the way we move the ball will help us through the MCG. No doubt about that.
What else does that ground test in any team that plays on?
Well, it's obviously rounder, so to speak. So it's obviously Adelaide Oval or Subi are narrower by dimensions. So there's obviously a little bit more territory to defend. So that comes with a positive and a negative, I guess. So when you defend, you've got to make sure that you're alert and you're up in the opposition's face. And offensively, there's maybe more opportunities to get through.
So how do you bring in your style of defending, particularly with your systems work on a wider ground?
Yeah,
Is it easy to adapt to?
no, I think our game plan stands up in any ground.
Last couple of
Brody Smith, is he just a sprained ankle? Is it?
Yeah, he's a sore ankle. Yeah, he's got a little tweak, so he's fine.
How long are you keeping him out?
Not too sure actually. I think it's just precautionary.
You talked about team defence, you talked about the size of the ground and that. All things being equal, you won't want to shoot out, but against the Bulldogs on that big ground, with the problems of trying to defend a big ground, are you expecting that offence is going to carry the day, whoever can do it more effectively?
No, I think if you ask the Bulldogs as well, it'll be more about how well you defend. I think both teams can score, and so how you defend the opposition will be the key.
Well, we've got,
How much is that last game? Much in that last game at all, Taylor? Or was it a long ago and things have changed so much?
Sorry, I wasn't.
That last game, that round 4 game. How much has that still got relevance? Anything you can grab from?
Geez, it's a long time ago. I can't really remember, but I don't know. I suppose you look back at it a little bit, but for us, I suppose from the weekend as well, we've got to move forward. And I think our ability to train hard during the week reflects on how we play. And we're going to have a big week on the track, and I suppose it'll probably be an open session so our supporters can come down and watch and really enjoy the week.